Since I started making videos way back in 2012, I've shared the Better Late Than Never Beanie pattern by Kathy North. Over and over again I've been asked to make a tutorial, but alas, it wasn't my pattern. I finally reached out to Kathy and she graciously gave me permission, so that's what we're doing today.
Now, I'll be following the original pattern very closely, except for one main change that Kathy and I discussed, and that is how to improve the back seam, which seems to be the bane of the existence for the crocheted striped hat. It's tricky to keep it looking good back there. She has written the original pattern in such a way that it is the traditional styling, the traditional methods for changing color and chaining up and all that. However, we like another method better, and that's the one I'm going to teach you to go along with it. And you could use it on other crochet striped hats too. As a matter of fact, I'm going to throw in some tips that you can use on this hat and other crochet hats as well. So print your pattern, grab a pencil for notes, and let's get started.
This tutorial assumes that you're already comfortable with the crochet basics of slip knot, slip stitch, chains, single crochet, and double crochet.
So here's my much loved pattern, complete with all my notes on it, so try to ignore those. But like any good designer, Kathy gives you the sizes that she includes in this pattern, the materials that she used, and the size hook that she used, which happens to be an I 5.5 millimeter that I have right here. Now, this is important if you want to get the right size with the yarn and hook size that she used, but you're going to have to make sure that your gauge matches Kathy.
Now, usually this involves doing a little practice swatch,
but I'll have an easier way that I will show you in just a minute to make sure that no matter what hook or what yarn you're using or what your gauge is, you can always get a hat that fits. So I'll throw that in there as well. Now, the first decision you'll have to make when you're picking out your yarn is which color is going to be your main color, which she has as the double crochet rows, and which is going to be your contrasted color, which would be the single crochet rows. Note that the band is also done in the contrasting color. So that's really what I use to choose my colors. So I have these two colors in Vanna's Choice. It's a cranberry and a gray, and I want my brim to be this cranberry color. So that's going to be my contrasting color according to the pattern. And then this will be considered my main color. So, contrasting, main. Now here's your first tip. If you're not used to reading patterns, or even if you are, sometimes they can just look like algebra with all these abbreviations and everything's run together. So sometimes highlighting or using colored pencils to mark each step can make it easier to read. You can also write a little 1, 2, 3 so you can see each of the steps that you'll need to see a little bit more clearly. Now there are lots of ways to start your hat, but I'm going to stick closely to the pattern and the way Kathy wrote it.
So a quick look at our instructions say with main color, chain 4 and join into a ring. And as you might expect, we begin with a slip knot, any kind will do, any method, and then begin your chain.
1, 2, 3, 4. And then you want to join with that first stitch right there. And a slip stitch means no yarn overs or anything, just pull straight through. Now, you have a little circle here, and sometimes it's hard to find the center. So just pull it and stretch it. It's going to look kind of funny because that slip stitch kind of gives way, but that's what it's supposed to do. We could fix that in the end, but you mainly want to find that exact center right there. And then the pattern tells us we need to chain 3 and work 11 double crochet into the center. So we go 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to give you a little secret. This is acting as our first double crochet in this ring we're creating, and in a minute we're going to join to that. So for teaching purposes, or this could be a trick that you might like to adapt to, you mark this last little chain right here. That's where we're going to end up joining. So if you're not used to reading your stitches, this could be a helpful tip for you. All right, so we chain 3 and then we do 11 double crochet into this center. Yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's our first double crochet, so we need 11. 2, 10, and if you need more room, you can just slide these stitches over. 11. Pull out some more yarn. Finish that stitch. Okay. In parentheses, she tells us we should have 12 double crochet when we finish, and now's a great time to count and see if that's the case. So I start from the back. I know that's the last stitch that I finished. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then the top of this chain is 12. So we have 12 double crochet. Now, we're going to join with a slip stitch right here. I'm going to hold my finger there so I know exactly where I'm going. I insert the hook best way you can, because in a chain it's kind of tricky. Sometimes you can just do one part of that chain and that's sufficient. And slip stitch. So now you've got a circle. Let me take time out to tell you something really important about a slip stitch join. Now I did a little sample here with 2 colors so we could actually see what was happening when we're joining, okay? Join as in holy matrimony, join together in holy matrimony. So I'm taking this last stitch and joining it to the first stitch that I have here with a slip stitch. Now what essentially we've done is we took these 2 stitches and made them one. And it's very important that we understand that, because if we treat them as 2 separate stitches, which can be confusing if you're just getting started, you're going to end up increasing by 1 stitch with every row, and your hat's going to be too big at the end. Believe me, I know. I did this many times till I finally figured it out. So remember, it looks, you see there's a stitch right there, and there's the stitch right there, but they're joined. So that we count as 1 stitch. Now this joining into the top of the chain like this without changing color is the change that I was talking about the seaming in the back. Never mind what she wanted you to do before. Let's go with this one throughout the pattern. Join it, and then when you start a new row, because every new row is a color change until you get to the brim. So what we'll do here is check the pattern. It says round 2 in increase round. That's important to know. With contrasting color, we're going to chain 1. So we don't cut this color, and that's good news because we don't want to sew in all those ends. So what we're going to do here is merely chain. And isn't that what the instructions said? Chain 1. Okay, that's our chain 1. And now it says to do 2 single crochet in each double crochet around. Now we just talked about this married stitch right here. So we will go right in this one for our first stitch and do a single crochet and then another single crochet. 2 in each stitch around. So we just continue on. 1, 2 with each stitch. 1, 2. When you put 2 stitches into 1 stitch, it's referred to as a crochet increase. And since this hat is worked from the top down, we have to start little bitty and increase wider and wider until it fits the circumference of a head. Looks like I'm crocheting some cat hair, dog hair into this. So I'm coming up to the end here, and we can see there's one more stitch here, and it's actually that second partner of the join, and we do want to go in there because we actually started in the first full stitch, not with the join. So let me do my last 2 single crochet. 1, 2, and then before we do any joining, it's always good to count, remember. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And there's that first chain, which is what we're joining to the top of the chain, and that's our 24th stitch. Boom. And you can always pull on your previous row to make that look a little better. Okay, round 3. This is an increase round as well, and the instructions say with the main color, which will be my gray, chain 3 and double crochet in the base of that chain, of the beginning chain. So, see, we just bring it up here, just pick it up. 1, 2, 3, and yes, you're going to have a little line in the back right there. That's okay, who's going to notice it? It's on the inside, and you didn't have to sew in all those ends. Also notice that my cranberry color here is getting a bit loosey-goosey, so you can just reach back here and give that a tug. Alright, now it told me to do my double crochet at the base of the beginning chain, and what that means in our terms, as we've discussed a minute ago, would be the wife side of the married couple. So double crochet into the wife there, like that. And then it says to double crochet in the next single crochet. Alright, so we can clearly see that this is where this stitch is. The next one will be right there. So let's do another double crochet in the top of that cranberry single crochet. And now we have to repeat everything between those two asterisks. It says 2 double crochet in the next single crochet and double crochet in the next single crochet. That sounds kind of odd because it's unnatural, but what it means is we'll do 2 in this one, 1 in this one, 2 in this one, 1 in this one, 2 in this one, 1 in this one, all the way around. One, 2 in the same stitch, and now 1 in this stitch, and that's our pattern for this row. 2 are going to go in this one. There's one, there's another one, and then we're going to do 1 by itself. Okay, 2 in this one, and 1 by itself. Alright, so I've double crocheted in pattern all the way around, and I've got 1, 2, and then the husband part of the joined stitch. Now we've already done the wife part, so that family's taken care of. That join is taken care of. So I've done 2 in this stitch, 1 in this stitch. So my last 2 should be the same thing. 2 in this one, and then 1 in that one. And then as per our new instructions, we join to the top of the chain. Okay, and now we move on to round 4, and whenever we change rows, we know we're changing colors. So let's pick up our cranberry and get ready for 4, which says with contrasting color, chain 1 and single crochet in each double crochet around. Notice this is not an increase round, so this is really easy. Alright, so here's my joined stitches. It didn't give me instructions to go into the base of the joined stitch, so I'm just going to start right here at the next full complete stitch and do 1 single crochet, and continue on 1 single crochet in each stitch around all the way. And I'll meet you back at the other side. So I made it back around to this point. That's the husband of the joined stitch, and then we join to that first single crochet. Okay, so round 5. What does the pattern say? It tells us it's an increase round with the main color, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and I like to give that little tug on the previous color. and double crochet in the same stitch at the base of the beginning stitch. Okay, so that would be in the wife part of that joined stitch, just as we did before. And now we're going to double crochet in each of the next 2 single crochets. So that would be here and here. So we'll double crochet in this one. That's 1. And here's the second single crochet, well, double crochet in the single crochet. And then we repeat what's inside the little asterisk. So that's 2 double crochet in the next single crochet, and then double crochet in each of the next 2. So that would be 2 in here, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1. So the same thing as we did before, 2 in one stitch, and repeat the pattern. And on this row, it's a single double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then you do 2 of them, and then 2 single ones. And when I say single, I mean double crochets standing alone. Okay, continue that pattern of 2, 1, 1, and I'll meet you back around. Okay, when you get back around, join with the slip stitch. Now we're going to the next row, and I know what it is already, because from here on out, every time we do a single crochet row in between our 2 main colors, it's going to be straight single crochets, no increase. So we chain 1, and then we go to the first stitch and single crochet. See, isn't that easy to remember? Great for watching TV. You don't have to concentrate so hard. So go all the way around with single crochet, and I'll meet you back at the beginning again. And just as before, I've come around and I did not put one at the base of the married stitch, so I will put one right there and join to that chain, which was the first of the color. See how much nicer this is looking? Pattern check time. And we were told in the pattern that for all sizes we go all the way through round 6. And then as we begin to choose our other sizes, we follow specific instructions. So I'm going to do this baby and toddler size only, so my instructions would continue here. If you were going to do the medium size or the large size, your instructions would continue under those headings. Now, here's a tip. What if your gauge is not the same as Kathy's gauge, or the pattern designer of any pattern that you are following? Here is my no-fail hat sizing chart. Okay, this happens to be on my website. I'll give you a link, but any hat sizing chart will do because they're pretty much all the same. So let's see, baby toddler size. What would a baby toddler size be? I say 1 to 3 years. Okay. So if you look across here, you've got the head size of a 1 to 3-year-old is somewhere between 18 and 21 inches. Of course, all little people are different. The hat size, you'll notice, will be a little bit smaller because you want a beanie to fit snugly, right? So it should end up measuring somewhere between 17 and 20 inches around. The hat height, which would be, this is the hat height from crown to the brim. The hat height should measure about 6.5 inches. And I'm saying about because, again, all heads are different. So people have to try on their hats the same as they would any other form of clothes. And the flat circle diameter should be 5.5 inches. Now, what is the flat circle diameter? That is your key to sizing for a crochet hat. All right, so here is a flat circle. That's what we've been working on. Now ours is going to curl just a touch because we don't have any increases on this single crochet row, do we? So it pulls in a little bit. So let's measure that diameter and see what we get. So right across the middle, see the top of my measurements going across the middle. Look, I'm pretty close to 5.5 inches. So with this little tip that I'm sharing with you, If you make sure your flat circle diameter matches the size that you want, you're going to have a good fitting hat every time. Now, I didn't do a gauge swatch, but as I've measured at this point and I know the size that I'm working on, it appears that my gauge does match Kathy's, so we're pretty close in that, so that's good news. But this is a way that you can check it. Now here's another little tip. Do you see these marks that I've got on my tape measure? This has been on there forever. I know what each one of these marks represents as far as the size goes. You can see that faint green right there. That was where I had marked it for a baby toddler right there. And then the sizes progress as they go up. These dots that I have on here represent hat height. So that's just a little tip that you might want to actually note on your measuring tape. Alright, I know I'm on track for my size, so I'm going to follow the instructions here. I left off with round 6, the single crochet row. And so from and I know that there will be no more increases because my flat circle diameter was just right. So round 7, I'm going to use my main color, chain 3, and double crochet in each stitch around. No more of that 2 and 1 stitch commotion. And then of course, we'll go to the single crochet the same way. And we continue doing that, single crochet row, double crochet row, single crochet row, double crochet row, until round 11. And how do you count your rounds? Like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See how easy that is? So we're starting with round 7, and here we go. Okay, I'm back, finished row 11 right here, and look, it's starting to look like a little hat. Alright, so let's refer to the pattern. So when we finish round 11, we can actually cut our main color. And be sure to leave enough to sew in, because we have to hide these ends, right? So you need about 6 inches. So I cut that, and you can get that totally out of the way, because we're going to finish making the brim. So round 12, with contrasting color, chain 1 single crochet in each double crochet around, join with a slip stitch. Alright, so we'll chain 1 and single crochet in each double crochet around. Alright, so again, we're still sticking with this. If it doesn't tell you to go into the base, which would be the wife of the joined stitch, then we go into the next stitch and we single crochet all around. I'll meet you back. Okay, and I'm back to the end, join with a slip stitch, and I need to throw in that what I'm doing right now, this brim, is the same on all the different size patterns. So the difference here is the size of your increased flat circle diameter and how long you continue on with the double crochet, single crochet pattern. And then all the brims are the same. So that's good to know. Alright, so next we have round 13. We're going to chain 3, double crochet in each single crochet around, and join with a slip stitch. So we chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we just do a simple double crochet in each stitch around, just as we were doing before with our main color. And you continue on like this, and I'll meet you back around when I get to the ending. We're coming up here to the end, and we join with the slip stitch in the top of the chain 3, poof. Alright, so the last one is to chain 1 and single crochet in each double crochet around, join with the slip stitch, and then we're through. We fasten off and weave in all the tails. So let's do our single crochet row, and I'll meet you back. Okay, I'm finishing up, and I am joining with a slip stitch. And now we're finished. So all I have to do is sew in the ends. Okay, so about 6 inches, and there are different ways to do this. Some people like to chain right here as they finish off. I don't. You know what? That's another thing to mention. There are no rules in crochet. Do whatever floats your boat. Watch videos. Learn from other people. See what I'm doing is I take this yarn and kind of create another stitch by going in right there. It just kind of hides it in there. But there's lots of different ways to finish off. And the main thing you're doing is you don't want it to be conspicuous, and you want to keep out the dog hair. You don't want it to be conspicuous, and you want it to hold and not come undone. So I just kind of weave it through. I really kind of like to split my yarn because that seems to give it a more of a gripping effect. And I might loop it one time backwards, go back from where it's coming out, and then continue forward. And then I love to do this. I pull it very tightly, clip, and then when you straighten it out, it disappears in there. So I'll do that with each one of these ends, including the top. You can pull it tight, close it up, and sew all those in.
See? Isn't it cute? It's a great hat. It's so practical. It appeals to both men and women, boys and girls. You could do it with any color combination. As a matter of fact, it's really good for scraps. Let's say you have a little bit left like this. You could do one single crochet row. Well, how do you know if you have enough? Well, here's my very unscientific method. I wrap it around the hat 7 times. And if it can go around, I didn't do a very good job there. If it can go around 7 times, then you have enough to single crochet a row. I think doing different color rows like that is especially fun when you use black for your double crochet rows. It just kind of sets them off. I really like the look of a variegated row, which I'm not a fan of variegated yarn in crochet because I feel like it's too chunky. The color pooling is too large, but I do like it in these single crochet stripes and even sometimes in the double crochet stripes, depending upon the yarn and how long the color changes are. But it's a great hat and wonderful for your scraps and perfect for donations because it pleases everybody. But I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below and I'll get back to you. Look at the description box for the pattern links, Kathy's website, and everything else you might need. Talk soon.